if you really want something, go get it any day of the year. You don't have to get the pressure of now. The more you accept the way your life is going and you don't interfere with it and create these crazy expectations upon yourself on the 1st of January, just let life flow and let it come to you, because life is already set out the way it should be for yourself. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. It is another day. Most importantly, it's another year. Like, let's not cut the bullshit. I don't know why I was like, it's another day, because, bitch, I don't believe in New Year. And let me explain. This might be quite controversial, but hear me out. This year, I didn't really celebrate it. I don't really celebrate it every year. I mean, I kind of do, but I feel like it's forced. It's going to sound crazy, but I don't know. Last minute, I always just have last minute plans and I just go along with what everyone else is doing. I'm not a big drinker myself. I don't drink. So, like, growing up, I guess my parents never celebrated it either. I just kind of went to sleep and woke up the next day and it was another day. So, I know this is probably going to sound really depressing. Oh my God. But let me get into it. Goals. Let's talk about it. This year I had a really wholesome New Year. Me and my friend, we made vision boards and cooked a meal and then crashed a party downstairs because they were being really loud, and we were like, if we can't beat them, join them. So we just went. We went downstairs, met some new people, made up this fake scenario of ourselves, kind of manifesting, I guess you could say, and then came back up and then we laughed about it and then we kind of just went to sleep. But anyways, yeah, New Year's goals. Now, every year I don't really set goals for the year. I kind of set goals for life. And I think it is a good time to sit and reflect about how your year's been, blah, blah, blah. But I've made the mistake before where there's been pressure to make goals. And these goals can seem really unrealistic. And I'm all one for unrealistic goals. I completely advocate for it. But when it comes to New Year's, you can often have something like be healthier, eat healthier, do exercise, go to the gym. And that can lead you down a really unhealthy spiral. And I'll tell you why. Because in New Year, there's this pressure to instantly be better. And with that comes along dieting. And with dieting comes along unhealthy habits in personal experience, where I will restrict, and then binge, and then it just isn't healthy. And then I have a really bad relationship with food. If you really want to go on a diet, cool. I'm not going to sit here and shame the fact that you want to do that, okay? But from experience, I've always put it down because there's a pressure to put goals down around this time of year. And that's something I've kind of always wanted to be skinnier or always wanted to blah, blah, blah. But then I think to myself, if I really, really, really wanted to do that, would I have not done that throughout the year? It's a whole mindfuck because the beginning of the year doesn't mean shit, to be honest. It's just something, a man-made thing that someone's made one day, that 365 days of the year. I think actually, no, maybe it's the sun that goes around the world or something. Oh, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist, but you get the gist. Like, it's not anything incredible in my eyes. And if you really want something, go get it any day of the year. You don't have to get the pressure of now. And if you've woken up on January 1st thinking, fuck, I've done nothing today, don't stress. Like, I literally spent the whole day sleeping in. The only thing I did actually was yoga, which I never do. It was just kind of like off the cuff kind of thing, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, don't feel the pressure to set unnecessary expectations of yourself, because what happens there is you're going to let yourself down in like a week. Well, this is from experience, okay? You'll let yourself down in a week, and that just causes way more dramatic effect throughout the year and your self-esteem than it would if you set smaller goals. So if you are going to set goals this year, I know it's probably too late because it's already January 2nd by the time I upload this, but just know that it could be a day-to-day goal. So I'll give you an example. I have socks on the floor I've not picked up in a few days. I'm going to pick them up. I'll just pick them up. That's a goal. Like, it doesn't have to be massive. Just clearing up your life a little bit, or making sure you're a little bit tidier. I don't know. It could be small things. It could be big. Whatever you want is absolutely fine. You know, it's your life. I'm not going to dictate it. But yeah, what I will advocate for as well, actually, is vision boards. This is something I'm massive on. Now, this is something obviously I did this year. I do it every year. And I like to just see if any of them came to life, because I kind of make them and then I forget about them. But this year I kind of stuck it up, and my vision board this year is kind of like a 5-year plan, you could say. Because my vision boards are never yearly. They're always what I want out of life. I think that's really cool to do that every year, because, you know, you might change. One year you might want something, the next year you want something different. So for me this year, it's all about the podcast, and I want to help you guys as much as I can with the topics I've spoken about. Just put it that way. I've always been quite open with, you know, my dreams and my goals and stuff. So I'm not going to beat around the bush, but I just want to help. And there's no point in having a platform if you're not going to fucking help. Like, I'm not the type of person, I don't need loads of money. I don't need a jet to be happy. Of course, that would be nice. Like, Loki would love that, because I have really bad anxiety. But I would prefer to put my money elsewhere. But if I have the capabilities to have both, then I'll have both. But yeah, anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But setting goals shouldn't be a task that you're like, oh fuck, it's a new year, I've got to do something. Like, no, don't stress, especially if it's appearance or something. Like, you can always strive to be a better person, and I'll always advocate that. That is like a really bad way to set goals. You should set goals because it's been something that you've been wanting for a long time, and maybe the thought of the new year is like a fresh start. But for me, it never really has been, because it's just like, if I really wanted it, I would have done it. I normally change my life on a random Tuesday night at 3 a.m. because I just want to start doing something different. Like, it's never been a new year thing, so don't stress over it. So if you haven't already, I would highly recommend vision boarding. There is a chart that you can search up. So what to include in your vision boards. You can do friendships, family, your career goals, your health goals, whatever it is, and just put it up. I just go on Pinterest and save a bunch of photos and just put it in, whack it in and print it. Or you can set it as your screensaver. It really depends on what you believe and who you are. And I'm not judging, but this is just me personally. So I guess that's where I stand with New Year's resolutions. I think you should always idealize your life, not your year. If you idealize your life, you can at least head in that direction. But I feel like if it's just a year on, it's not far ahead to plan things. It depends how open-minded you are and what your goals are. You know, I personally have really, really big aspirations in life that I need to reach. So a year isn't going to cut it. I don't know how else to explain it, but I won't probably reach what I want to reach in a year, and that's fine, because I've been going at YouTube, funnily enough, since I was 8, and not many people know that, but I've had 3 podcasts fail before this one, and I just have a really good feeling about this podcast, guys. I can't explain it, but I genuinely feel like I have a purpose here, and that purpose is to help women. Going back to what I said earlier about yoga, I started it yesterday because my friend said that it really regulated her nervous system. And let me tell you, my nervous system is out of whack. Oh my God. I am the most anxious person I have met in my life, obviously. But that makes no sense. But I am such an anxious person. And when I kid you not, I was stressed before I went to yoga. I came out in the middle of London, which normally when I'm in London, I'm having panic attacks all the time. I was like, if I'm in a kerfuffle right now, I'm chill. I'm absolutely chill, you know. And it just made me realise I need to do that shit again. And you know what was funny? Is my yoga instructor told me to do this exercise, right? And she said, close your eyes, breathe, relax the corners of your mouth. Okay, now smile slightly. And I smiled. And then she went, that's how your soul feels. And I was like, oh my God, it feels so forced. I feel like I've been forcing my happiness for the longest time. And I just had this massive like revelation of like, I genuinely have been forcing my happiness for a long time. And it's not because I'm like depressed or sad. It's just my anxiety overtakes my life so much. And I always feel like I have to mask it, because if I confront it, it gets worse. And something I learned through yoga as well yesterday is that the reason I'm so low, so she said to rank how you're feeling out of 10, and I said 3, which is actually really low. But the only reason it's low is because of my anxiety. And she said, have you come to terms with it? So have you accepted it, or are you against it? And I just went, I'm against it. She was like, there's your answer. So the more you accept the way your life is going and you don't interfere with it and create these crazy expectations upon yourself on the 1st of January, just let life flow and let it come to you, because life is already set out the way it should be for yourself. Period. I am a big believer in that. So honest to God, I think it's a great thing to set goals, but on the 1st of January, it's like this massive thing that, because everyone else is doing it, I need to do it. No, you're not going to obtain that. I do understand and appreciate new beginnings. I love that feeling. But it's more so the pressure of creating goals, because for me personally, I don't work well under pressure. I never have done. But if you're someone that works well under pressure, then this is probably perfect for you. Like New Year's is probably perfect for you, and I'm not here to judge. But for the people that hear me and think, oh shit, I don't work well under pressure and New Year's kind of scares me a little bit, just know, I'm pretty sure that's normal. Especially if you're younger than the age of like 20 and you're like, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not where I need to be, I'm not where I said I'd be last year. Like, let life come to you, let life happen. Shit happens, shit gets in the way. It's just about pushing through it, honestly. I'm just here to remind you that there's already a plan for you. You just have to trust the process. And it's not me saying sit and do nothing. Obviously, work towards your dreams. The reason why making goals for 5 years ahead is good, for example, is because you can at least aim towards it. I feel like I can't aim towards the end of the year because I'm just like in my head. A year is too much pressure. I don't think I can achieve everything I want to achieve in a year, because what I want to achieve is crazy. Some people might look at my vision board and be like, Corey, you're just some girl that is trying to make it in a world where everyone else is trying to make it in the world. I kind of tell myself that, but at the same time, I had this dream before this was even a fucking thing. Just know I've been grinding at this for a long ass time. I am never going to give up, because I know that my 5-year goal is waiting for me, and whatever is set out is waiting for me. I know you shouldn't put a time on it, but I don't think a year is enough time to achieve what you want to achieve if you're a big, massive, open-minded thinker. So, yeah, that's what I'll conclude on. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. And I don't want you guys to feel like there's pressure to obtain a diet, go exercise, be the better person in 5 days or a year that you should be, because being a better person takes fucking time, and it's not something that's going to happen in a year. Well, it probably will, it might, but change isn't quick. It's a slow process. It's a day-to-day thing if you really want to sustain it and you're like me. So yeah, that is all I'll conclude on. I hope you guys have had an amazing Christmas. And I did speak to a few of you on Christmas Day, actually, on Instagram. If you do want to follow the Girl Math Podcast on Instagram, do go ahead. I'll link it down below. I'll also link my personal one as well, because I get crossed between, like, some people message me on there and some people don't. I don't really promote my personal one, but people find it anyway, which is fine. Like, follow me on there. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm more active on there anyway. So, yeah. Anyways, that's everything. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.